Hey, welcome everybody. It's time again for another episode of Health Talks with Dr. Trinh. The one show, the only show that shows you the path to health and happiness and a healthier life. And today we're going to take a path, well, at least for us and here in the West, it's a path less traveled. It's an alternative path to the traditional Western medicine of diagnosis and pills and intervention and surgeries, and we'll see you again in 6 months. It's more of a preventive approach. It's more of a maintenance approach that's been popularized in the East for centuries.
Where's your volume? We don't hear you.
You don't hear me right now? How about right now?
Very little.
Very little. Okay. I don't know what the problem is.
Oh, there, it's better. It's better.
Okay. Is it better there? Okay. Sorry about that.
Yeah, that's good.
All right. Well, so today we're going to talk about a path that not many Westerners are familiar with. It's the path of Chinese traditional medicine, a path of based on a philosophy of qi, that your body has a life energy that flows through you, just like your blood, and that the muscles can constrain this flow, just like it would pinch your nerves or cut off your blood, that it can. And so the idea is to relax and release those knots and let the flow go. And today we have with us a Chinese traditional practitioner who has a scientific approach to this whole thing. Welcome, Dr. Chen. Welcome, sir.
Welcome, Lighter, tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, and how you integrate therapeutic massage into Chinese meridian therapy.
Yeah, I have a graduate from Zhejiang University in 1983, major in the remote sensing geology, and as a visiting scholar in Australia in 1989, as a visiting scholar in Australia Scientific Research Organization. And then I back to China. I found my first entrepreneurial business is a software company. It's a translation, Chinese English translation software. And I started from my own self and grew into 60 R&D and the marketing and the sales teams. And the business is growing very fast. But my health get a challenge. I end up in the hospital for 15 days, emergency room, and the inflammation because of the diabetes type 2. So the only I chose is that I can only sell my business and help myself recovering the health first. So I immigrated to the United States 2003 as the extraordinary ability expert. So I visited the internal medicine doctor, and he checked my blood glucose is 180 before breakfast. It's very high. Wow. Normally it's 300. But so, and he gave me the pills to control the blood glucose. So I take some medicine, and a few weeks, 1 week, and I feel very side effect, very seriously, and I cannot see clearly, and my stomach pain all the time. So I'm looking for the alternative solution for myself. So I started to acupressure my own leg and the spleen meridian, and I go to the Humboldt Medical University to study the traditional Chinese medicine, see whether it can help myself. Before, when I was in China, I also don't believe the medical traditional Chinese medicine. But after 2 years, I do it myself, acupressure and the diet and relaxing. And then I begged to check the blood pressure, blood glucose again. And he told me, "Oh, you are totally good. Everything is normal. How you do that?" So I wanted to share my experience with the world. So I started my second entrepreneurial business in 2008. Found Tommy Healing and Wellness. So this is how I started this. And since that time, we already help hundreds clients achieve this health goal help them balance blood pressure, balance blood glucose, and many other better sleep and other things just through the acupressure therapy. And also we have a innovator Tomi Meridian energy chi analysis system. This analysis system can find the blockage and imbalance within 10 minutes, just exactly locate where the blockage. And we just focus on that, remove that blockage, and will help clients achieve health faster.
So you took a scientific approach. You used your scientific background as a remote sensing scientist.
Yes, we have developed this sensor and the software to processing the data collector and map out all the imbalance and the blockage and the 12 meridians. So it's a very scientific approach to the traditional Chinese medicine.
And is that seems to be unusual to me, and I'll let Dr. Trinh jump in a second here, but that when I had gone and known other people who went to acupuncture, similar to acupressure, trying to relieve these blockages and get the energy flowing, your chi, your energy flowing again here, it was kind of hit or miss. Where does it hurt? How about this? Let's try this. It wasn't because they didn't know where the blockage was. So they're guessing based on the pain and what you're reporting to them. And then they have some other tests. I guess Dr. Trinh can talk more about this. He did acupuncture. You look at their tongue, you look at, but it's kind of a trial and error thing. Is that true, Dr. Trinh? Does it take a while to zero in on the problem in Chinese medicine?
It's subjective.
Right.
It's subjective. Whereas the device that Leiter has gives you more of an objective reading. But the question, let's step back to a higher view. What is qi? What is qi? I mean, the average American does not know what qi is, what qi means. How do you interpret qi, Leiter?
As qi is a kind of energy flow, the energy flow of your body, and there is a law how the energy flow your body. In your body, there is 12 main meridian, like through your hand, your leg, and the connection to your internal organ, like the heart meridian, like connection to your heart, and the lung meridian connect to your lung, and the liver meridian connect to your liver. So anything happen within inside your organ, like a lung or heart or liver, there is something show some symptom. The qi energy flow or faster or slow or too much or too less show on your leg and your hand. So this is how we can track and measure how good it is, the qi flow.
And it seems like it's based on this idea that your body has a natural balance to it. Your body has an energy. I don't know that can we actually measure this energy, Dr. Trinh, or we just, I think that's the problem Western medicine has with this. All right, we know there's a slight electrical charge in your body, but beyond that, is there really a life energy that if it's in balance will help heal your body and keep it healthy? And if it gets out of balance or blocked, then problems start erupting in different parts of your body. Is there any way to measure this? That's what Dr. Chen's been working on. He has a way he says he can measure this.
So in Western technology, there isn't a blood test, there isn't a brain scan or a scan to look at your qi level in Western technology.
Right.
But apparently, measuring qi and evaluating qi has been going on for thousands and thousands of years, right? Through Eastern medicine. On the Western medicine side, there just isn't a test to measure it until now, because Leiter apparently has a device that he
can sense it. That he can sense that. What is it? Is it a very low? Is it sort of an electrical energy, Dr. Chen? Is it? How do you? Must be some sort of impulse that you're measuring.
Yeah, it is to measure the current. It's a small, teeny changes to the current. If there's something pain or the blockage, the meridian, there is change the current. So we measure have a sensor to measure the current.
Now, do Western doctors even accept this notion? Because when you go to medical school, they don't teach you about an energy, an electrical energy, a chi flowing through your body, much less give it any credence that somehow this energy has a healing capability or a preventative capability to keep you in balance. The typical Chinese yin and yang, balance of life, balance of everything here. But yet it seems like Western medicine over the last 10, 20, 30 years has come to accept it. They'll actually believe that for persistent and chronic pain conditions, that acupressure, acupuncture, deep therapy, massage has some therapeutic value to it, right?
Yeah, I think the fact that insurance companies are paying for acupuncture,
Right.
And acupuncture is based on meridian therapy, right?
Right.
So we see the results, and that's why insurance companies pay for it, because we see the results of meridian therapy being used with acupuncture, acupressure.
Right.
What we don't know is how it actually works.
Right.
So we see the end product, but we don't know the mechanism, right?
Right.
Of how that works. But obviously the end product is there. That's why we pay for it. That's why insurance plans pay for it.
Right.
But there's this gray zone, like what is happening when you're sticking a needle in, when you're acupressure, massage, when you're
hitting one of these pressure points to release the blockage or focus the energy.
What is a blockage, right? I mean, it's not something measurable in Western medicine, but we know that it works. So this is why I'm very interested in what Leiter has developed, because he's trying to measure this gray zone that's not being measured. This amorphous whatever.
Something's there, and we know it's, and we can tell it.
And then it works. Yeah, something's there, and then it works, and we pay for it. But we don't know what this thing is. We can't measure it, And this is the space that Leiter is working in with his products.
And yet, why has Chinese medicine, Dr. Chen, not found a way to satisfy Western scientific standards? It's been in practice for thousands of years. This is how, if you're in China, like you were raised in China, you go to a Chinese traditional doctor and he gives you herbs, he gives you acupressure or acupuncture, either sticks needles in to release the energy and focus it, or deep tissue massage to break open those blockages and get it flowing. But it's the same idea that, and then he supplements that with herbs and other things. And to Westerners, that sounds kind of like witchcraft. That sounds sort of like voodoo. And yet it's been practiced for thousands of years.
Yeah, the biggest challenge is cannot measure it. Where is the meridian?
Right, where is it?
Where is the meridian? Where the chi? So this is, the Western medicine doesn't believe that the existence of the meridian. So Tomei system is approval. Here is the meridian. Here is the chi flow. How I can show the data and show how it changes, and we can make the heart chi changes, we can make the liver chi changes, improvement of the healthy.
So let me give you my own, we stumbled upon you. I do some work for this on the side for the Small Business Development Corporation. You would come to them to try and get some testimonials and some video and audio, because mostly this is anecdotal. You've got tons in California, you're just licensed as a massage therapist, basically, even though you're a Chinese traditional doctor. And so there is no license for a Chinese doctor here in California. There is in China. And so you've studied this practice. You've done it yourself. You were able to cure yourself. You started this clinic and changed your life because you believed in this thing, which you didn't believe in as a child. You grew up in China. And you're like, no, I'm a scientist. I'm not going to go do this traditional medicine. I'm going to look for something Western and scientific. And when that failed you, because we don't seem to have a lot of answers for chronic conditions, for chronic pain, for persistent problems, other than a pill. And when that didn't work, you found this, went back to your roots, discovered it, did it, it worked, and started this clinic. So you've got thousands of anecdotal cases now of people coming to you saying, I don't know why it worked, but it did work, sort of what Dr. Trin's saying. And I'll tell you my own story here. So as part of my research, work with you in the SBDC, you said, well, why don't you come and try this? And I was very skeptical. I said, okay, I'll try it, but I'm not going to tell you anything about me. I'm not going to give you a hint of whatever little underlying conditions I know I have. And so you did this chi analyst. You put this wand at all these different pressure points in my body and measured this electrical current, any change in energy. And there comes this computer program, this software that spouts up and says, it shows you on a chart, here's where your energy is best, here's where it's blocked, here's what it is. And you said, you got some problem in your lung. And I said, well, how did you know that? And it says, right here, look, so you can see it's off the chart. And I said, I do have a problem with my lung. Not to get too disclosure here, but I, a year or two ago, was just diagnosed with, I was having tremendous chest pain, and I thought I was having a heart attack. And I went to my doctor, and they ended up doing a CAT scan. Because at first they did the heart test, and it came back good. So why are you having this persistent problem? And they found I have a little nodule, a little lung nodule, and it's very tiny, but anything growing on your lung causes a lot of pain. And I get stressed, or anything can aggravate this. It's like a constant aggravation on my lung, which causes, go look it up, it can be extremely painful. And they have no answer. They're not going to go into there and try and cut this out. It's very difficult, apparently, to cut anything off of your lung without damaging the lining of your lung. So they don't want to do that until it gets really, really big. It's just tiny. It's like a little tiny pimple, smaller than a pimple. And as long as it doesn't grow, their answer is live with it. There's no pill. There's no answer. There's no nothing. And so you said, well, I think I can help your energy attack this. Now, you claim shrink it. I find that hard to believe. But if nothing else, give your body to calm that aggravation that causes the pain. And so you started some sessions with me. We did 12 sessions, and the pain went away. And I'm like, oh, wow. The pain went away from a persistent problem. Now, I'm not saying forever. You think maybe you can get to it forever. We're going to keep working on it. You think that the body has enough energy and power to actually shrink some of these little tumors or growths or whatever, or cut them off? As you said, you're in Western philosophy, it's all about intervention or masking the problem. I'm either going to go in and cut it out or correct it, or I'm going to give you a pill that's going to cover up the symptom, right, Dr. Trinh? That seems to be your only two choices. Here, if I understand Chinese medicine correctly, it's we're going to create an environment. We're going to strengthen your immune system, your body system, however I want to think of it, your energy, and it's going to make it hard for it to grow. It's going to starve the little tumor, cancers, problems, pain, whatever's giving you pain. It's going to not just help correct it. It's going to, and by balancing and bringing energy into this, it's going to make an environment that's hard for bad things to happen like this. Is that correct? Am I overstating it?
Yes, it is. I have many, like you, the successful case, and some people come in like, oh, I very bad sleep. I cannot sleep. All this
or backache,
stress,
or problems, or headaches, or will never go away, and yeah.
Yes, and also one of my clients have 2 times operation of the head because of the headache, and still need another operation. So he coming to me, I help him check the qi and found that the liver qi is out of balance. So we just work on the liver qi and make the liver qi balance. The headache pain away, don't need another operation. So that's something. And
so also, somehow it's creating your body is healing itself, that it has the power and the energy to heal itself and to create a healthier environment that therefore it's not just really, because I see it as, I mean, it's like any deep tissue massage. I tell you, it feels tremendous because you do get these knots. There are places in my body that you started touching it that I hadn't touched, behind my calf or in some lower shoulder. And all of a sudden you go in there and you start kneading and like a massage, knotting, getting these knots out. And it's like, it hurts. Ow, I didn't know it hurt there. And the more you work at it and knead away at it, it does release the muscle, I guess. The muscle then relaxes, and I'm not getting the pain. I'm not getting the pinching. I must be pinching off my nerves and my blood too, and all these things as I tighten up and tense up and get twisted into these knots in various places in my body. And so, I mean, whether it does any other magic healing, it makes you feel good. I mean, it definitely releases some pain and tension and problems. I get why insurance companies are paying for all of these kinds of therapeutic massages and treatments. But you're saying beyond that, that you're actually getting the body to help heal itself. And that's the Chinese approach, not to intervene, but to create a more balanced body.
Balance.
Yeah.
Yeah, once the energy get a balance, like a up and down balance, up and down. Some clients come in, they feel dizzy and almost fall down all the time. So we check the qi from the up and down, no balance, all the energy in the head part, less energy in the leg. So we make them up and down balance, move the energy from the up part to the leg, and then get up and down balance. He never fell again. And so we help the balance, not just the balance the leg and the hand. We balance the inside, the internal organ, liver, kidney, and spleen and the heart. Make inside the balance, then the inside of the organ healthy. So this will be help most of the chronic.
So here's the controversial part to me. I get that it's a therapy, and the therapy, like any massage, releases tension, releases blockages, releases knots, and that makes your blood flow, that makes your lung flow, that makes your body flow better, and you feel better. And we're not exactly sure how in the West, but it's pretty clear when you go get a deep tissue massage of any kind, particularly when it's focused on meridians and energy and stuff, that you're going to get some kind of pain relief and tension relief and stress relief. I get all of that. And I think Western science has come to accept that. But it's this notion that the body can heal itself. What do you think of that, Dr. Trinh? That if I really direct the body's energy at a cancer, at a tumor, at a imbalance in your blood glucose, at all these other things that pills don't cure but cover up or help control, can the body itself intervene and cure some of this stuff? Do you believe that, Doctor?
Well, I mean, I think we were all created with a very unique and special body that has the power to heal itself. That's why we have an immune system, right? To fight off and ward off infections. So your body heals itself most of the time. Every time you get injured, bruise, cuts, infections, you heal, right? And you go back to normal. So the body has the components to heal itself often. The question is, what are we doing to the body with our lifestyle that breaks down its ability to heal itself, right? That interferes with its ability to heal itself.
And it's the Western disease. It's anxiety, it's stress, it's lack of sleep, it's lack of exercise, it's bad diet, as you preach all the time here.
So meridian therapy is very interesting. The idea of these energy flows going through your body and that the energy is blocked at certain locations due to infection, diseases, whatever it is. It's meridian therapy is based on stimulating your body to heal itself without taking an extra pill, right? That's the whole idea behind balancing your meridian, is that by balancing it, you are promoting the body to heal itself. That's the whole idea.
When you did you don't have a private practice anymore, Dr. Trinh, but when you had a private practice in Laguna Woods and you were principally dealing with older people, they got a lot of pain and problems and chronic conditions and persistent problems that doctors just shrug and say, what do you want me to say? You're old. You're going to have pain. You're going to have, and particularly the way we live, you're going to have tension, stress, anxiety. You don't eat a good diet, all these things. But they just kind of shrug and say, I'll give you a pill to either cover it up or to try and control it, like diabetes.
Sure, we give you a pain pill. Right. You got pain, here's a pain pill, right?
You got high cholesterol, we'll give you a pill to try and flush it.
We'll give you a pill for your high cholesterol, whatever it is, right? And so that's where I'm looking into meridian therapy, looking into Chinese medicine, Asian medicine, may complement a lot of what we do in Western medicine, because in the theory of Chinese medicine is that when you're sick, it's an imbalance between your yin and your yang energy, right? There's imbalance. And so the meridian treatment through massage therapy, through the stuff that Lighter's doing, helps to balance that out. It doesn't necessarily, we're not saying don't use Western medicine.
No.
We're saying that Eastern medicine may help to complement what Western medicine lacks, because Western medicine gives you a pill.
Right. Somebody told me years ago, and I don't know if this is an overstatement or oversimplification, but they said in Western medicine, you go to intervene. I have a problem that I can't stand anymore here. Help me to cut it out. Help me to intervene, to fix it, to take a pill to artificially reduce it, to shrink it, to flush it out, to do something. It's an intervention type of thing. And then I don't see you until I need another intervention. Whereas in Chinese medicine, it's an ongoing relationship you have with your doctor. And if you get sick, you fire him. Hey, you're supposed to keep me healthy. You're supposed to keep me in balance. And when I get, now maybe I'm doing all these things to throw myself out of balance, but you're always fighting this and trying to get my body back in balance here. And it's more of a preventative rather than an intervention at the last minute. So yes, if my gallbladder is ready to burst, I don't need Chinese medicine. I probably need somebody to go in and cut it out. If I had a heart attack, I need to clear out those valves. It may be impossible for the body we've done so much damage to fix that. Now, Dr. Chen may argue with me and say, no, enough chi balancing, I can fix a lot of these things. But there are times to intervene, there are times to take emergency measures, and Western medicine excels at that. But that ongoing pain, that persistent problem, that chronic condition, they really don't have answers for that. There's no way to intervene other than surgery or a pill. That's what's in the toolbox, right? So maybe this is another tool. Did you ever use I thought you surprised me when I introduced you to this guy, and I said, tell me what you think. Should we have him on the show? You went and tried it yourself, and you told me later that you have done, when you had your own private practice, you did acupuncture. You experimented with acupuncture. Talk about that.
Oh, yes. I'm certified in acupuncture from UCLA. So
here you are, a Western medicine, all scientific, show me the facts, and you're fooling around with something that you can't prove is there, this Chinese qi, and they're actually going to a major university to study it and get accredited to do it, even though you admit we're not really sure what it is or how it works.
And you know what? This course that I took at UCLA is a course that teaches acupuncture for physicians.
For physicians, really? See?
Yeah, it's physicians teaching physicians acupuncture.
So how do you explain that? How do these scientific, no nonsense, just the facts, kind of skeptical, show me the data guys trust and believe in something that they can't quite put their finger on?
So there's data now. There's an entire journal dedicated to this. It's called the Journal of Medical, the American Journal of Medical Acupuncture, or something like that. It's published by doctors using clinical trials technique, double-blinded, randomized studies, and they are publishing papers using the scientific techniques on acupuncture. And so what's interesting is we're seeing results. We're seeing positive results. Insurance is paying for it. We just don't know how it works.
Don't know how it works. little thing like that. We don't know how exactly to do it.
Yeah, but it works because we're paying for it.
And again, what I thought was interesting about Dr. Chen's work is because he was a remote sensing scientist, that was what he studied, to try and take a scientific approach to a traditional healing method, rather than poking pins in your back and saying, how about this? How about this? Just tell me where it hurts, and guessing. And using some subjective analysis. I'm going to look at your tongue. I'm going to look at other things to try and guess where the imbalance is. He claims he's actually found a way to measure this very low-level energy in your body called qi, or we might call electricity or whatever it is, that this impulse that there is measurable and is there. It isn't just voodoo. He can measure it and hone in on taking that data and then figuring out what is it telling us and putting a software program together to identify where the weak signal is coming from, where the blockage is in the body. Has that ever been done, Dr. Trinh? Has anybody ever tried to take a scientific approach to a traditional healing method?
Not that I'm aware of, which is why what Leiter's doing is very, very interesting. It's the first time he's trying to measure qi energy. So Leiter, tell us more about the science behind it, about the theory behind measuring qi with your device.
Yeah.
Once the meridian, the qi blockage, like create pain, and then will be caused the change of the current on the specific point or specific meridian. Then our sensor very sensor is that can detect this very teeny changes, the currents. So we can record these changes. For example, like the 5 freeway connection with the Sacramento, we call the name is the Sacramento Freeway. But like in your body, we call the heart meridian. The connection to the heart is the heart meridian. So heart meridian is from the finger and the hand, but the connection to the heart. So 5 freeway is from San Diego to Sacramento, is connected to the Sacramento city. So we call Sacramento Freeway. Once a traffic accident happen, like a bad weather or something, earthquake or something, blockage on the freeway, like the car or 20, 30 car or traffic accident happen. So will affect, when the freeway blockage affect the economic of the Sacramento. So once we make the 5 freeway clean, back to the normal, the Sacramento, the economic,
the traffic flows again. The traffic flows. But go to the underlying thing, and without giving away your scientific thing here, this is kind of a breakthrough. I think there's actually hope that you're going to do some clinical trials and studies of this to prove that this is really zeroes in on, has quicker results and finds these blockages faster so you can release them. Talk about how long it took you. How many years did it take you to come up with measuring this very insignificant amount of electrical flow or energy or whatever it is that you're signaling? You found this. We know there's some sort of electrical energy in the body. Everybody knows that. You can get a little jolt sometimes just touching people or whatever. Not just static energy, but people feel kind of a little energy. We always say my energy's up, my energy's low. We know there's something there. How did you find a way to measure it, and how long did it take you?
I started this project since 2008, almost 12 years. We invest millions of dollars to develop the hardware and the software, detector and the processing system.
And what was harder, detecting it, because you've got just a pretty simple wand. Detecting it's probably not the problem. It's trying to figure out what is the data telling me. When I get a signal, what is when the sensor takes some reading, what is that telling me? Was the software harder, or was it harder to develop?
The software is very hard to develop. We need to compare left, right, up and down, and compare each meridian, the date, the difference. We need a calculation, a lot of calculation, and set up the database.
So you're touching all these. In Chinese medicine, there are pressure points all over your body. We know this. If I touch this, it can release a headache. If I do other places, we know, we have sort of anecdotal evidence and a longstanding belief that there are pressure points in your toes and your feet and your hands and your body and your back and your legs that will, we know, release tension, release energy. But we don't know how to measure those. And so you take this wand and touch all these pressure points and collect some data, and then that data gives you a readout, and you know where to zero in where the blockage is. But that took you 10 years of trial and error to figure that out?
Yes.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Wow. And the software is more and more accurate, more and more sensor. The result is more and more accurate. Yeah.
So is this so how do you so what you're measuring is you're measuring electrical current, is that correct?
Yes.
And this measurement of electrical current,
very little changes, very little changes, and everything everything happen in your heart or inside your organ, like liver. There is something energy changes on the liver meridian, on the heart meridian. So we detect the small changes. We'll know the inside.
And that shows up, what is a slight change in the electrical current? Because there is an electrical current. Am I right? There's a little electrical current in my body here. There's a very slight electrical current going through it.
Changes.
Right.
And also sometimes the Qi is excess, too much. Sometimes deficiency, too little. So it need all balance.
So this either goes up or goes down, and these slight little changes, then the wand is measuring it at different points in your body, and then you've got a way to correlate this and take it all together and say, taking all these different sets, we think this change plus this change plus this change plus this change, measuring at all these different points in your body, these key pressure points in your body. Somehow you collect that data and crunch it together and correlate where the problem is. That must take a long time of figuring that out.
Yeah, found the imbalance and the blockage.
Why has nobody ever done this? The question I had,
like the Sacramento Freeway, 5 freeway with Sacramento. If something happened in the Sacramento city, like
backs it all the way up,
or something happened, and then we'll show that on the 5 freeway the too much car, because all the people run out, something happened. Yeah. So it will be too much car in the freeway, or something made too little car.
Well, imagine you get on the freeway tomorrow. I'm going to go up on the 5 freeway and it's stopped. And so is it just too many cars, or is there an accident? I don't know where the accident is.
Yes, and so it's sometimes like an earthquake happen in the
or a crash or something,
so
or whatever.
Too many car will run out. So maybe must be something wrong happening in the Sacramento. So we can just so we can know, track what's happened, and then we can help them to balance this problem. So
your body knows there's a problem. It can sense that you've got a problem in your heart, in your lung, that there's a cancer growing, that there's a pinched nerve, that there's something wrong in the system, because this constant flow, if you like a traffic flow, if it gets disrupted, things get backed up, things get blocked, and the body, like it sends antibodies, like it sends other sorts of internal things to attack problems in the blood, it will try and attack and fix this energy flow and create a healthier environment to heal whatever the problem is. Why has Western medicine not studied this more? You say they have started to now, Dr. Trinh, clinical trials, double-blind tests. Has anybody, and why is acupuncture so much more known than acupressure? Because acupuncture is invasive. You're sticking something in somebody's body trying to direct the electrical current. It would seem that acupressure would be less invasive, and if nothing else, end up with a deep tissue massage that feels wonderful and releases your muscles and the tension and gets your blood flowing and all that.
Yeah, I mean, the difference is you're stimulating the same acupressure points, right?
Right.
You're either stimulating it with a needle or you're stimulating it with massage.
Right.
So you're still working on the meridian system. It's whether you have a tool like a needle or whether you're using your hands through massage. It reaches the same goal. Right. Between acupuncture and acupressure. The only difference is with acupuncture, I can just take a stab at it.
Yeah, exactly. So is it an acupuncture has been accepted in hospitals?
Go ahead. Acupressure is more human resource involvement.
More human resources.
Acupuncture
is like put the needle on and then give them 10 minutes or 15 minutes, relax.
It's more intense. We have a bunch of comments on our Facebook here.
Yes.
Cindy Chen says, as someone with autoimmune disease, lighter interestingly picks up when my immune system is flaring or attacking. Wow. Through sessions, I can feel my immune system calming down, just feeling better.
Wow.
When I'm stressed, he was able to detect it, not only work on rebalancing, he reminds me to take it easy. You have some fans here already, Lighter.
Wow.
On Facebook. Steve Wilburn says he wants to try it out.
Okay. Steve's a good person to try it out. He's a skeptical scientific kind of guy here. Yeah.
Yeah. And we have so it's very interesting. You brought on a very interesting discussion. Where is your office? What city is your office in?
Right now we are in the Anaheim, 120 North Tustin Avenue, Anaheim. Yeah, Anaheim.
And it's a very unassuming, it's in a little tiny shopping center with not much there. It's just a little tiny couple of rooms, it's a little tiny, small little clinic in the middle of nowhere. You drive right by it. It's not a big, beautiful Irvine giant scientific. I keep telling him he's got to get out of the shadows and get into it, but you're booked solid. Every time I go in there, you seem to go round the clock. How many patients do you think you've seen in the last 10 years?
We have more than 3,000.
3,000 people. And would the majority of these be Chinese who already have some understanding or belief or trust, or the majority of people like me?
99% of our clients is English speaker.
Wow, 99% is non-Chinese. That's amazing. Yeah. When you have that kind of traction.
Yeah.
When using Asian
healing methods, right?
Methods. That's amazing.
I'll tell you what appealed to me, and I think this is part of a trend. I told Dr. Chen this. I said, I think he's on the verge of something here. I know from my own wife and my own life that we are always disappointed with Western medicine. Sorry to say this, Dr. Trinh, when it comes to consistent chronic conditions, autoimmune disease, diabetes, persistent problems, sleep, stress, digestion. I got a pain, I got a problem, my stomach's always upset, I'm always anxious, I'm always thinking, because all they give me is a pill, and I don't like pills, and I don't want to take pills, and I don't know what happens when you take too many pills of all these different kinds. My mother was so over-medicated at the end of her life. Every time she had a problem, she had Parkinson's, she had all these other things. They're giving her pill on top of pill, and after a while, she's like a zombie. They literally had her drugged out. I think my generation and those behind me are hesitant to take pills, and so we're eager to look for alternatives, which is why places like Mother's exist. You can get herbs, you can get homeopathic, you can get Indian Ayurvedic, you can get Chinese traditional treatments. I'm looking for healthier alternatives. You're always talking about better diet and healthier eating. I'm looking for exercise. I'm looking for other things to put my body in balance and keep it healthy, so that I don't need the intervention of a pill or a procedure. And I think that we're skeptical of doctors more and more. Sorry, Dr. Trinh. And we're looking more to, and maybe we're just experimenting with voodoo. Maybe we're trying too many crazy, and I'll try anything. But I think that when you've had a persistent pain or a persistent problem or a chronic condition, autoimmune disease or something, and they tell you, I got no cure, at that point, you're willing to try anything. Anything that has any hope, anything that and these are true, good or bad, these are things that have been done for thousands of years. Maybe they are voodoo, maybe they are witchcraft, but they have been done for thousands and thousands of years, and they seem to bring some sort of relief to you.
It can't be that much voodoo and witchcraft when the insurance company is paying for the
right. Exactly.
Right? There's something to it, because insurance companies is paying for, these treatments of therapeutic massage or
pain relief.
Yeah, right. Or acupuncture. So it can't be that much voodoo. We just want to figure out why it works. What is the machinery behind meridian, therapy? What is the
balancing energy?
Right. What is the chi energy? How do you measure chi? Right. And this is the space that Lighter is working in.
Yeah.
To figure out how it works and documenting it through his device.
Well, I think what struck me and gave me a smile is when I asked him after he treated me, I said, and I discovered his story of how he treated himself first. And I said, you grew up in China. Did you believe this? No, I didn't go to the traditional doctor with his herbs and his acupuncture. I went to the biggest, I'm a scientist. I've studied in international universities. I went to the biggest Western doctors I could find, and they shrugged and said, take a pill for your own diabetes. What did your own doctor say here in the States when you went back to him after you had brought your diabetes under control through acupressure rather? What did he say? He asked you what? He said, have you been taking my pills?
Yeah,
and you said,
he is very surprising. And he asked me whether I wanted to continue to take his pills. So I told him I only take 1 month. I slow away. I just, yeah. It was really surprising. Yeah.
Because he had no answer in his toolbox other than a pill to control this chronic condition. And really, he wasn't dealing at the underlying cause of it. That's the next phase of this. Like, I wonder, Dr. Trinh, as we have our last 5-10 minutes left here, I think we're entering in a new phase with COVID. I was told, and I'm going to go on a little soapbox here for a moment. I got the feeling, I thought I got the clear message a year ago, 2 years, whichever president, the last one or the current one, everybody was kind of saying, we're rushing to get a vaccine. And once you get the vaccine, it's like polio. It's like smallpox. You ain't going to get it. You might have to get boosted once in a while, but you can walk amongst the sick safely. You're safe. And now they're saying, no, the variants, new ones coming, it changes so fast. They get around the vaccine. The vaccine will make you healthy. You won't get as sick, but you're still going to get it. Nobody told me I was going to get a little bit of polio, a little bit of smallpox. They said, no, once you get the jab, you're good for life. Now that thing seems to be changing, and they're saying everybody's going to get it. It's just how sick you're going to be depending on how healthy you are and how much immunity you've built up through these antibodies that we inject. That's a different world. In that world, then I've got to be as healthy as I can be. I've got to eat better. I got to sleep better. I got to exercise better. And I got to deal with some of these chronic underlying persistent inflammations that I just have learned to live with.
And maybe you got to get all your chi energy back into a good range with the meridians, right?
Everybody's laughing, but I think that's part of it. I think we've got to somehow get our bodies better in balance. And maybe there is a chi energy, or maybe there isn't. But whatever it is, we've got to somehow get our blood flowing, our air flowing, our energy flowing. All of these things we kind of know are there. We've got to feel stronger if we're going to fight off this infection and its future variations.
Yeah. Leiter, what is your website? What is your website called?
Website is Tomii, TOMII.US.
.us?
.us, yeah.
Tomii.us.
And what does Tomii mean in Chinese?
What does Tomii mean? Anything?
Tomii is your pathway to health and energy.
So that's a word that actually means a path.
Yeah, it means in Chinese, like Tomii is your pathway to health and energy.
You're on your Tomei, so, you're on your path, yeah.
Welcome everyone, come here, and we give you a free chi analyzer and a free health assessment.
So that there you go. So if somebody wants to just go in for free, sort of like going to a chiropractor and they give you a quick report as to what they view is wrong with your body, you'll give people a free chi analysis for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Wow.
No cost. Analyzing of their chi energy.
Oh, that's powerful.
Also we'll give you a report how good it is, and
then compare it. And he's going to say, like you do with me, I think you got a problem in your lung, and I'm going to go, how did you know that? I do have a problem in my lung, and see if it matches your own understanding of your body. And if it does, then you can. Treatments
and
you usually
we can find maybe yourself.
Oh, I think we lost you.
Is show that
we're losing you there. You're cutting out. So
the seeds show the future.
So you're willing to anybody that goes to Tomii, TOMII.us and signs up, you'll give them a free chi analysis and a report analysis, and then they can compare and decide if they think this is worth pursuing and trying and doing it. Right now, it's not paid for insurance. You haven't been doing insurance. What does it cost roughly for a session? Like $80 a session or something like that? I think we lost him here. I think
about $80 per session.
80, and then you can buy bigger, or you can buy bigger packages and get it down to like $60. Yeah, right.
Yeah, most of our clients, when they wanted to get a best result, is a 12 session. 12 session continuous treatment.
And you do it literally like with me every
year,
other day. It's a couple, you do it like every day or every other day. You just had somebody come down, tell that story. You had somebody come down from Sacramento. Now, he was Chinese. He did have an underlying belief in this. And he stayed at a hotel, and you treated him, what, for 12 days, right?
Yes. One client from Denver, Colorado, he's suffering from the pancreas cancer, stage 4.
Wow.
He stayed here for 12 days hotel. We do everyday treatment for him, every day to the C analyzer and treatment. And then he go back to Denver and take the blood test the next day and show the cancer index is into the normal range. And they continue 4 months, 4 times blood test. So this is the very significant changes his health.
You're telling me that stage 4 pancreatic cancer, which kills 95% of people, we do a show on that here on the network. This guy came and after 12 sessions was able to get his cancer index somehow back into a normal range. We don't know if it'll stay there forever, but he was able to, at least the body was able to balance and fight this and get it without intervention, without radiation, without chemotherapy. You were able to, the body itself, to control this. That's a pretty dramatic statement, because most people think you can't cure cancer with qi. But that's what you're seeing. I don't know if it's cured, but you got
we
it
can
back
help the balance his internal, like the spleen, the liver, and the kidney, balance the qi. When I first check his qi, is totally out of balance. The up and down is totally out of balance. All the energy in the leg, no energy in the head. So after 12 treatment, the up and down balance, left right balance, all the energy about 8 out of 12, the internal organ is in the balance area. Before is no one in the balance area.
So you're saying this isn't just
your device, you can measure over time the meridian and whether they're improving or not improving in its balance.
Yeah, every day we do the measurement.
And then you can get over time, you can see how the graph is moving. If it's in the balanced range or unbalanced range, too much, too little.
Slowly in measurement. So we can help client achieve the measurable and sustainable health results naturally.
Well,
every day they come in, they check the qi and see, oh, it's better than yesterday, or it's better than yesterday. He feels very happy. You see the changes, improvement.
Well, I'm a skeptical Westerner. I'm skeptical of doctors and their pills, but I'm also skeptical of other claims. I'm always trying to what feels right, and so I'm always trying to, like most people, when my doctor gives me a pill, I go home and I say, am I really going to take this? Maybe I'll take half of it. Maybe I'll take a little bit of it. I'm somehow my own healer because I know my own body, and I'm just uncomfortable with any absolute answers, and yet I'm desperate for other solutions. That's the kind of conundrum. You know, on the one hand, I'm desperate I don't know if I trust Dr. Fauci and a million other people. I don't know if I trust the doctors. I don't know if I trust anybody anymore, the health thing. And yet, on the other hand, I'm desperate for somebody for a solution because I'm scared of all these things. And so I'm willing to try lots of things that I wouldn't otherwise try. I'll give you this story. My mother, when she had Parkinson's towards the end of her life, she was in such pain and so many problems. My dad, who's this hardcore right-wing Republican business type, he took her to acupuncture to see if and it did bring her some relief in pain and stuff. And I said, Dad, this sounds crazy. He said, I will do anything. I'll go to any witch doctor in the world if it'll bring any help, because we've got no other answers. And I think that's where many people are at in their life. So at the same time, I'm skeptical when you say, wow, I can bring cancer, I can help lower cancer, I can help ongoing autoimmune disease and diabetes and cholesterol and all these other chronic conditions we're all plagued with, and anxiety and pain. I get pain. That seems like you could sort of release tension and stuff. I get tension and pain and stress. I struggle to believe that it really can work on more serious conditions like those I just mentioned. But you've got anecdotal evidence up the yin yang, not to make a bad joke here, the yin and the yang. Up the yin yang, you got a lot of anecdotal evidence where it has helped people, and they have paid and come back over and over and over again for these things. So in a world where we have no other answers, maybe this is an answer. Maybe it's another answer. Maybe it's another
I'm
path.
very impressed with the anecdotal testimonies that, somebody like Cindy Chen and many others who have positive testimonies. It's very impressive.
Right.
But I'm also a researcher, right? Coming from a scientific mind.
Right.
And it's nice to be able to figure out how this all works.
Right.
To connect the dots between the testimonies and the science.
Yes.
It's kind of like CBD oil, right?
CBD
Everyone is
similar.
using CBD oil because it's taking care of their anxiety, it's taking care of their chronic pain, it's taking care of insomnia. But what is the science behind all that, right? And then we're trying to connect the science with the testimonies. And it's the same here with meridian therapy.
So who is, one last thing, we'll go 1 minute longer, Dr. Trinh, you went and tried this yourself, what was your experience doing it? And then afterwards you connected Dr. Chen with some other people who might do some clinical trials and studies of this further.
Yeah, it's a very interesting experience. So it's not your typical massage where you walk out feeling great. You just had a great massage.
Right.
It's sometimes it's painful because he's pushing on points that are tender because these are therapeutic meridian acupressure points, right? So it's not, so you shouldn't expect that you're going to a recreational massage at all.
Right.
This is not a recreational massage.
Some of it was very painful, I got to be honest. Was he fit some of these pressure points
that he's trying to do? And so I found it very interesting. But it was an overall very good experience to experience that. And I'm more curious from the science perspective, right?
So who did you hook him up with? Who's Dr. Fred Ma that's coming to visit him?
So we have folks who are in the clinical trial world. Then we're having discussions now with Leiter to see if it's possible to conduct some type of study of research of clinical trial to evaluate his ability to measure qi and his toolkit and all that. So we're interested from a science perspective to find out if this is something legit or if it's something that is still very vague to us.
Well, I'd love to. You got whoever Dr. Fred Ma is. Dr. Chen told me he's got somebody you connected him with. He's going to come out and see if he can talk more about this, and together, if there are some clinical trials. Clinical trials are expensive, though. I mean, I can't. This is a difficult process and a long process, but I think it's an over-needed study of something that's had tons of anecdotal evidence, not just in Dr. Chen's practice, but in thousands of years of anecdotal. It's time to take a look at some of these things, whether it's Chinese herbs, whether it's Indian Ayurvedic, whether it's homeopathic, whether all the stuff that the alternatives that we have dismissed for too long or CBD oil or other sorts of things. I think there's a hunger to take a look at alternatives because Western medicine doesn't have many answers when it comes to these chronic, persistent, ongoing problems here.
That's correct. That's correct. And I don't view these treatments as alternative. I view these treatments as integrative.
There you go.
Integrative.
Yes, you integrate Eastern and Western. You integrate the best of both worlds. They're not necessarily alternative, but if you got pneumonia, you're gonna take your antibiotic. If you got, if you got a broken rib or a broken something, you'll get surgery to fix it. That's Western medicine. Right. But if you got a condition that, where we can balance your immune system, we can balance your meridians, whether your qi is too high, too low, whatever it is, right? This amorphous area. If we can help with that, why not? But the question is, you have to measure it. You got to do the research on it and figure out what exactly it is.
Right. And I think it goes with the whole movement towards more holistic approach to the body anyway. Don't just go see a lung specialist. You may have other problems that are leading to this lung problem here. So maybe it's a diet, maybe it's a stress, maybe it's other health issues, or maybe it's interconnected to other problems in your body here. One causes another. It's this balanced approach to your body, this holistic approach to your body, using every tool in the arsenal, including some that we've overlooked for centuries in Western medicine that maybe we're taking another look at. CBD oil, diet, exercise, mental therapy to reduce stress and anxieties, lifestyle, balance. I go back to my father, who was such a no-nonsense kind of tough guy, and he said his only philosophy was do everything in balance. Your whole life you should live in balance. Don't drink too much, don't eat too much, don't get too upset. Don't learn to balance what you do in life. That's the philosophy here. Well, Thank you. Give us the website one more time, Dr. Chen, as we wrap up. How do people find you? You've got some people already who want to sign up and come get a free Qi analysis, if nothing else.
TOMII.US 714-998-0128.
And do they just tell you?
998-0128. Call us. Yeah.
I'm sorry. Give me the phone number again.
714-998-0128.
And if they want their free Qi analysis, what do they say? Just they saw you on Dr. Trinh?
Call us and make an appointment.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll see how many take you up on it. I hope everybody does. I can't say I know why it helped me, but it did help me. It was kind of magic. Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, thank you so much. This is a very good episode. We will we'll put this on YouTube, and we'll definitely have further discussions on this as we get more data and information.
All right. Look forward to continuing the conversation here on Health Talks with Dr. Trinh.
I'm looking for the 2022. We have the clinical trial with Dr. Chuang and Dr. Frey. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think help millions of Americans achieve the health naturally.
Well, and to understand it better, and to get more doctors to have an open mind to it, and more people to explore what you've seen work in your own life, and thousands of patients, and it's worked for thousands of years. Exactly.
Yeah, I believe this is the future of American health.
Yeah,
we'll find out.
Yeah.
Bye.
Well, there you have it, folks. That's the kind of stuff you're only going to hear on Health Talks with Dr. Trinh. The one show, the only show that's going to show you all the data out there and all the different paths to health and happiness, including some we're just beginning to understand or explore. Right here in Orange County's only community radio station, octalkradio.net. Streaming live from the University of California, Irvine's Beale Applied Innovation Center.